Welcome to Rope Dropping Knowledge, where we guide you through the magic of Disney.
Hey.
Hello. I'm going to tell everyone that we're re-recording because you ranted too much, and we don't edit. We don't believe in editing. We're like SNL. We just upload right after. So now we got to do it all over again because we don't believe in editing.
Well, I mean, it was one of those things where editing would just, you have to find rich parts to edit. It would actually take longer to edit than it would to just redo it.
Yeah.
So it is what it is. It is what it is.
Now, hopefully, I will be more polished.
Yes.
On my part.
This is fun because I love spending time with you. So.
I just like to watch movies by myself. Just kidding.
Before we get started, let's talk about our July giveaway.
Yes.
We have a magic crown.
Moms with Magic Crown, the Fantasyland crown.
Yes. And I always say they light up.
Oh, yes, they light up.
I really love them. Did you post your holder for the contest?
Not yet.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it looks pretty cool.
I bought a crown holder. They're more like headband holders, but it is from Haley, Moms with Magic Crown, who shared it on Prime Day. So I bought it through that link. Hopefully you got credit, or I don't know if she has an affiliate credit or not. But I was like, ooh, this is a good idea. So I bought that to keep my crowns on. But I will share a picture of it.
And all you have to do to win this crown is direct message us via Facebook, Instagram, or info@ropedroppingknowledge.com. You get an additional entry for every medium you use. If you could have any themed crown/ears you want, what would they be? What would the theme be? And it could be a theme. It could be a Star Wars theme that you haven't seen before, because there's all kinds of Star Wars stuff out there. Or it could be something that no one's seen before that's totally unique.
Yeah.
I was saying that they should do like a Nick Fury one with an eye patch that comes down from one of the ears. Or they could do like a scroll one where one of the ears is green, one of the ears is a regular Mickey ear. Yeah.
Scroll Mickey. Ooh.
That would be cool, But they don't listen to me, which is why Disney's losing money. No. But yeah, all you have to do is direct message us your answer by 11:59 p.m., July 29th. That's a Saturday. You must be 18 years or older, live in the United States, and the winner will be drawn at random on the 30th.
Yep.
Also, we will be in the parks on Sunday, and it's going to be a hot one. And I know we always complain about every time we go, it's usually extreme. We're like the extreme weather duo, man. We go there, and it's like, ugh.
It's 93.
We think if it doesn't get higher, because there's a heat wave going on throughout the country.
Yeah, it's supposed to be the hottest, whatever, like 19 days straight in Arizona with 110 degrees or whatever.
Yeah.
So it's going to be 93 and it's going to be hot.
Yeah.
Well, miserable.
So I was not wanting, we were going to stay at the Marriott, but when we stay at the Marriott, even the close ones, sometimes we walk, which is good for us. Sometimes we take an Uber. Sometimes we'll stay across the street from the Anaheim area at a Toy Story parking lot and just walk across. But like
still
waiting,
walking.
but waiting, it's still walking. Sometimes it's waiting, and it's like if it gets like super crazy hot, man. I just said, I'm going to stay on property, so we're staying at Pixar Pier,
Paradise
Pier,
soon to be Pixar
Hotel.
Hotel.
Pier Hotel. Not yet, but they still got a lot of the paint up.
Mm-hmm.
And the reason I'm saying that is because one, that's how lazy I am. I don't want to be in the heat. And you guys really need to know me as a person. But two, we have the wallet giveaway, which is a Kate Spade Minnie Mouse card wallet. And the rule is the first person or people who approach us about the wallet win it. But it has to be on Disney property. And anytime we stay on Disney property, which the hotel is, Downtown Disney is, that's fair game. So if you see us, it doesn't have to actually be in the parks. So if you just want to hunt us, you can. But that's only for Sunday, and then we won't be back again until August 5th, I think. So, good luck.
Good luck.
And
And where else are we going?
we're going to Comic-Con on Friday,
Yes.
and there's really
There's
nothing to talk about
nothing.
now, but we will have like a Comic-Con wrap-up next week.
Yeah, the only thing I wanted to do was meet Patrick Scullin, who's the artist of our Disneyland portrait thing. It's what our cousins Melody and Arnold gave us for Christmas.
Yeah.
It says
A happy place.
Our Happy Place, and then it has the castle and the two of us, which is what Melody put in, standing in the middle. And so he did that. And so he's going to be at Comic-Con because he has a lot of new art that he also is displaying and selling. I looked at some of them. They're Marvel stuff, so it looks
cool.
pretty cool.
Yeah.
So yeah,
We may make another purchase.
yes. So that's all I plan on doing. I know this year Comic-Con's going to be bare in terms of celebrity-wise, which is what Comic-Con is supposed to be, right? It's supposed to be about comics.
Yeah.
So.
And I like that because that goes back to the olden days of Comic-Con.
Yeah.
You know, where
You went to Comic-Con.
yeah, well, it wasn't like
As
crazy.
a nerd.
Yeah, as a nerd, yeah.
When nerds weren't cool,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
When all the girls in high school used to make fun of us for going to Comic-Con.
Yeah.
Nah, they didn't really make fun of us. I was still on the football team, but they did.
Make
We did
fun
get
of-
clown us, and that
Yeah.
did remind me of the Michael B. Jordan
Yeah.
who got clowned in high school by that one woman who's now a reporter, an entertainment reporter, who he blew past.
Yeah.
and then
then she's
made
like-
fun of him in high school, and then made fun of him again when she was a reporter on a talk show
Oh.
about him being in high school and how he was corny.
Yeah.
And then
And he remembers.
and then she saw him on a red carpet,
Uh-huh.
and now she's interviewing him, of course, because he's the big star, because it was the
Yeah.
Creed red carpet
Yeah.
and Creed 3. And then she's like, "Oh yeah, we remember
went to
you-
high school
we went
together
to high
or
school
something."
together, and trying to be all friendly." He's like, "Yeah, you don't want to call me corny, right?"
And she's like,
You
no,
remember
my
that?
friends did. He's like, no, it was
no,
you.
that was you. Yeah, that was you. And then,
Who's corny now?
so yeah, who's corny now?
So now nerds are cool.
But yep. So I'm looking forward to a little less crowd. I mean, it's still going to be crowded, but you know, people already bought their tickets before the strikes.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, because even Haunted Mansion, you know, there's strikes, and then now it's open to the public. The Haunted
Yeah,
Mansion
the premiere.
at Disneyland, DCA. So we'll be there, and we'll have a wrap up on that next week.
Yes.
Comic-Con. Little funny story, a little BTS story.
About my mom.
BTS.
That is so embarrassing to me. I mean, you think it's funny?
I think
me and my
I
sister
think,
is
I think
like,
every man should have a mother-in-law like this, because she's on Facebook, of course, because she's over 60.
and she's an ARMY fan. She's a big ARMY, which is ARMY is the name of the BTS fan base. They call them ARMY. And
like Mariah Carey calls her people lambs, and then
oh, she does.
yeah,
I didn't know
and
she had a
then
name for
every
them.
big group has like a name.
I know
for
the
their-
Swifties.
The Swifties, yeah,
Okay, so this is the ARMY,
yeah.
and you know my sister's into it, and she has pop-ups, but she's not.
The Beehive, that's another one, right?
Oh yeah, the Beehives.
yeah.
The
The Barbies,
Who's the Barbies?
Nicki Minaj,
Oh really?
yeah, mm-hmm.
See, I don't know any of this.
yeah.
I just know the ARMY and Swifties.
Yeah, he thought that was unique. Huh?
It actually stands for something like adorable something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, so yeah, my sister does BTS pop-ups, where she sells BTS accessories and stuff like that. And then she got my mom into it, and now like me and my sister are less into it. But my mom is full on ARMY,
Go Army.
and
Beat
she friended someone on Facebook named Namjoon, which is the real name of RM, who's the leader of BTS, who speaks fluent English. And so his real name's Namjoon, and she friended someone named Namjoon with his picture on it. So of course it's him, right? There's his picture in the profile pic.
Oh boy, you got to keep old people away from the internet,
Yeah.
man.
And she said hi in the messenger, and at least she waited for a response. And then the other person said hello,
At least you waited for a response.
and then she went on and on a whole paragraph.
There was more than a paragraph. It was like,
Yeah. Of like, hey, you guys
Hello.
are talented, and my daughter
got into you when she was having surgery.
Yeah, she was listening to you, and so I started listening. And
this is my favorite food, and this is.
did she say that? I don't remember. And my sister got so mad. She's like, "Mom, how many times have I told you not to talk to anybody
man.
on Facebook? Don't even talk to your friends. If you need to talk to them, text them. Don't talk to anybody on Facebook." And she talks to this stranger. And the reason why we know it's not the real RM is because this person only has 3,000 followers.
I don't think it takes that to know. That's not the real RM.
Yes,
If
the
that's
real
what it takes
RM
for you to
wouldn't
know,
respond.
I'm worried about you too.
No, I'm just saying the real RM would never respond to you. Well, how we found out was when my mom was telling my sister, "Hey, I've been talking to RM." And my sister's like, "What? What do you mean talking to RM? He doesn't talk to anybody." And she's like, "Look." And then she's like, "Mom, no." Like the next question would be like, "Hey, what's your address? I'll send you some stuff." And then, of course, my mom would probably give them the address.
Yep.
So
Bank
that's why
account
my
number,
sister's
Social
like, "I need to
Security.
block you from everything."
Man, I'm glad no Nigerian princess ever hit her up.
I know.
She's like,
Dude, she would respond. She'd be like, "Hey, this guy said I can have 100,000. He just need my bank account number so he can put it in."
yep. And you'd be like, "No, Mom." And she's like, "Why? You racist? You want to give me 100,000?"
She does respond to people, and she thinks they're real.
Yeah, you said she responds to campaign donation.
Yeah,
ads.
she's like, "Joe Biden emailed me." I'm like, "No, that's not Joe Biden." You know, she would probably be like, "Oh, good luck on your campaign," or whatever. You know.
You know, the sad thing is, out of everyone we mentioned, Joe Biden probably would email her.
No, he wouldn't.
Probably think he's his wife.
They're not allowed to have phones.
Yeah, but he'd find out. He'd probably email on like an intern's thing. Who is this? So, this lady looks
he's
nice.
like my mom.
Yeah, it's like your mom.
So,
Hey, what do you mean? She says she likes my hair. Oh boy. But yes, I know kids of parents who do things like this don't find it funny, but in-laws, parents like this find this hilarious. That made my week.
and then after my sister stopped it, the person was like, "Hello? Have you?" No, well, they asked, "Have you gotten to attend any of our concerts?" And then that's when my mom stopped responding. And the person's like, "Hello? Hello?"
Hello?
I was like,
I can picture your mom. "My daughters don't think you're real. Prove you're real."
"Send me something. Here's my address."
Send me something to prove you're real. Here's my address.
Oh, man.
Well, he has his picture. Yes,
Yeah,
he's
that's
real.
his picture. That's what she said. So that's his picture right there. No, that doesn't mean that's him.
Oh, man. Your mom's hilarious. Okay. Just a funny little family story. So, there's a lot going on business-wise, politically. It's like, let's go with what is the Disneyland Resort, the lawsuit or something?
Oh, yeah. The California Appellate Court ruled that Disneyland Resort evaded minimum wage law for cast members. So cast members could see a pay increase. Remember that law that passed that said that in 2018 it was called Measure L, and it required businesses that receive subsidies from Anaheim to raise their minimum wage to $15 an hour in 2019. And then by $1 each year, leading to 18 in 2022.
Yeah.
So the cast members sued in 2019, claiming that Disney was subject to that measure. Because Disney's like, "We're not subject to that." And so I think now that the appellate court had finally decided that they did evade that law, and cast members could be compensated.
Yeah.
As much as $20 an hour.
Good for them.
Yep.
I'm always rooting for the cast members.
Yeah.
Don't rip them off. All right. And Bob Iger is extending his contract
through 2026, December 2026.
Yeah. Oh man, it's
I don't see any difference.
No, I don't. I as far as the way things go, I know some people are happy about it. Some people are upset about it because they don't think he's,
been doing as good of a job.
He's not the Disney Messiah that everyone thought he was. It's
Yeah.
like, no, he's the same guy.
Yeah, he's the same guy.
He's
When they first said he was coming back, I said on one of the episodes, like, hey, don't expect too much. Like, he's not, it's going to be the same. Don't expect, like, oh my God, no reservation system and blah, blah, and all this. Like,
Yeah.
It's not going to be like that.
Yeah, I mean, the reservation system is something that every business wants.
Mm-hmm.
If you could, and when I say that, I don't mean that every business has a need for a reservation system, but I'm saying if every business could predict how much overhead they need to invest per day, like how much inventory they need of churros, hot dogs, how many people are going to be, how long they could almost predict the wait times now, as long as something doesn't break down unexpectedly. Like, to be able to forecast that just gives you such great, just logistical and financial tools.
Yeah.
And yeah, the reservation system is going to be a big part of that. It's here to stay.
Yeah. I mean, in general, people thought that it would be back to the good old Disney peak era, the Iger days, and it's not. Because it's
I know Johnny gets mad, man. He's our guy, man. He gets angry.
There has been a lot of things wrong with Disney.
But
that's the reason why their stock plummeted.
So like, we haven't listened to Johnny's latest podcast.
No,
yet.
we didn't. We
On
wanted
purpose.
to do this first, and then.
But we did listen to his last one about his
Genie
roundabout
Plus.
the Genie Plus system, and basically what he said was that he's not mad about a business trying to make money. He's just mad that they're not honest with him.
Yes.
And I'm just like, but what business is? I mean, I guess that's my response to him.
Yes.
Like when car manufacturers raise their price, they're like, no, we just want to make money, or no, they're going to tell you it's better.
For you.
Yeah, it's for better this or for better that, or they'll add a subscription service that used to be free, or this, and they said, well, now it's better quality, or I mean. Or they'll blame it on the economy or inflation. I mean, I don't know of a single business that's like, hey, we just want more money, so that's what we're gonna do. I mean, that's not. They would fire that head of marketing in a heartbeat if they did that. So it's like, what product do you or anyone use where the company is like, we're going to increase prices because we want to?
Yeah.
But
it's good to get his take. I think his thing was he just hates the system. He liked the old system, and he would pay for that happily, pay for the Fast Pass Plus system. He will not pay for Genie Plus because it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So, and it's good to get, because Disney content creators sometimes are too much flowers and unicorn. So it's good to get a different take.
No, I'm glad that he stands up to Disney.
Yeah.
It's just that if I was Disney, I'd be like, so what company would you like us to emulate? You know what I mean? It's like, like Apple, which we are probably going to be owned by someday. Like, like.
That's the other thing, right?
Yeah.
They think that they're extending Iger's contract to close the deal with Apple, and a lot of Disney fans are not happy with Apple eventually owning Disney. I don't know. Yeah,
and I could see. I think a lot of Disney fans just don't want things to change, but a lot of Disney fans, the problem with Disney, well, the best thing about Disney and the worst thing about Disney is that it's magic. It's emotional, right? So when everything that we love about Disney, because it says in the title, what we love about Disney is emotional, but then every criticism we have about Disney is going to be emotional.
Yes.
So neither one is logical,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I'm not saying they should be logical, right?
Mm-hmm.
You when you go to Disney and you feel a certain way, that's great. And the fact that it's illogical when you probably spent the rest of the week before that working and watching your kids and doing all these logical things,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
it's good to have an escape from logic,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And so I'm not saying that these are bad things. I'm just saying that it's hard it doesn't make sense to people how much we love Disney,
Mm-hmm.
but some of the things that Disney does is not going to make sense to us either, because we're never going to look at it as a business.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna, even though we know it's a business cognitively.
Yeah, we're always gonna look at it as something that makes us feel good.
Yeah,
Emotionally.
and why would you take that feeling away?
Yeah.
And it's like, and I think that's the one thing that I try to be a little more objective on. I'm like, yeah, they are a business. If they sell to Apple, if they're going to sell to anybody, I'd probably want it to be Apple, because Apple understands the brand comes 1st.
Mm-hmm.
They understand that they don't want to do anything to dilute the brand.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I'm just going by what they've done with their own brand.
Mm-hmm.
They understand how to defend the brand, and they understand that Disney's number one asset is its branding.
Yeah.
Just like Apple's number one asset is its branding.
Yep.
That's why they will sue you if you put an Apple logo on anything else,
Mm-hmm.
because they don't want anything to be, they don't want any brand confusion.
Yeah.
Even if when Samsung made their phones look like iPhones, they sued them. It was like,
Mm-hmm.
and they still kind of look like iPhones if you look at them from a distance.
Yeah.
But they did get some money for it. But that's why companies want their phones to look like iPhones.
Yeah.
Because of
the
that
branding
because
of
of
Apple.
that branding, right?
Right.
So, and I think that when you look at legacy, yeah, you have to kind of put it in a company that's stable. Like I don't know if Apple will be around in 100 years, but of all the companies that exist, I think it would be one of them.
Yeah.
And again, you brought up the technology piece before, where that's sorely needed with Disney.
Yeah. I think Apple will improve that.
You're not going to see any more Windows 95 screens on Toy Story Mania or on
Mickey and Minnie's Runaway Railway.
Daisy Duck.
There was the little Windows blue Windows thing where there was a little X. It was like, click on the X, somebody in the back. Click on that X so Daisy's face is not distorted.
Yeah. So, and right now, Disney's they have a board of directors and they have shareholders.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's kind of like they're doing they're just kind of going with the wind. It's like, I think like Iger might have long-term plans, but then the economy changes or something changes and they do something different, we got to make the shareholders happy. Apple's pretty good at handling their shareholders. They're kind of like, no, we've steadily made you a profit for this many decades, and we're going to continue to. So, yeah, you guys need to pipe down,
Yeah.
and the shareholders kind of trust them.
Yeah.
So I think Apple has a better, like if they have a 20-year plan, they can be the least, they would deviate the least out of any company or any entity that owns Disney to where that 20-year plan would see fruition as opposed to the way it is now, or another company that owns it that just cares about short-term gains. So, but that's just my opinion. We'll see. We had a thing planned to talk about theaters, but then all these strikes happen.
Kind of relates.
Kind of relates, yeah.
Like the strikes probably the nail in the coffin for theaters.
That's what I was looking like, because I had this little graph that I was looking at. In 2018, we had $6.5 billion domestically grossed by theaters in the United States. 2019, it went down. So the trending was down. So it was already a downward trend to $6 billion. And then obviously 2020, we had the shutdown. It was almost $1.8 billion. And then almost 10 to 1.1 billion in 2021. And then, of course, now in 2022, it started coming back. It was $4 billion because things opened up, fully opened up. They started opening up in 2021, but then they fully opened up 2022. And 2023, right now, we're already at 4.6, and then we're only halfway through the year. So we could have been back or even exceeded,
The previous.
2000, maybe even 2018 standards,
Yeah.
depending on what blockbusters
Mm-hmm.
we had, because we have Oppenheimer coming out. We got the Marvel. I don't know how many people are going to watch the Marvel, but there's a lot of movies that are still
Coming out,
out. And
But
then
then-
the writer's strike happened. And to top it off, the SAG strike joined them. And
Yeah. So the theaters were on an upward trend, but now it stopped because of the strikes.
yeah.
And
Well,
I
it's
think-
going to stop.
Yeah, it's going to stop.
This
because,
is like one of the last weekends. I think Oppenheimer would be like the last.
yeah, Oppenheimer and Barbie are
Mhm.
going to like get a windfall from this.
Mhm.
But then after that, like actors aren't going to be promoting,
Nope.
going on talk shows and things like that.
Mm-mm.
So even if movies were already set to release, there's no promotion
Yeah.
going on.
So it's it's gonna be rough.
And that's why Iger had said in one interview where a lot of people got mad, where he said, this is a really bad time and what the writers and actors are looking for are not realistic or something. And
yeah, it's
it's a bad time, meaning it's a bad time. Like, it's like,
and a lot of people got mad at that. Like, what do you mean it's a bad time? And,
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
and again, I try to empathize with both sides. From a business standpoint, he's right. From a labor standpoint, why would you strike when everything is good?
yeah.
Like, you strike when your enemy's desperate.
Yes, exactly.
It's kind of like in boxing. A lot of reason why a lot of people get beat at boxing because even if they have strong punches, it's because they don't go to the body.
Mm.
When you have somebody hurt, the first thing they're going to do, like if you hit somebody hard in the chin, the head, they cover up their head.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the body,
Mm-hmm.
knock the wind out of them. They'll drop their hands, then you knock them out.
You knock them out.
Too many boxers who are inexperienced, they hit somebody in the head and they keep throwing at the head, and the guy's blocking. He's covering himself
Yeah.
up. The guy recovers and then ends up winning.
Yeah.
So you got to go when they're vulnerable.
Mm-hmm.
Go where they're vulnerable. And which brings us to the next statement, which I don't know who made. It was some executive. Some people are speculating it was Iger. It doesn't really sound like Iger,
Yeah.
but some people are saying it was. And they said that what we're going to do is wait for the writers and actors, because a lot of people think, most these writers and actors are like all wealthy. It's like, no, like some of them barely make minimum
Yeah.
wage. Some of them qualify for food stamps.
Right. There was
You
one
know.
that made 80 cents a pay. The residual from streaming, they make only 80 cents
Yeah. Well,
per
it
episode or
depends on
whatever.
like what if you were like just a background character.
Mhm.
Yeah. But like some writers, we looked at it, like the average writer was making $70,000 a year.
Mm-hmm.
And then some writers are making like less than that. You got to figure that a lot of actors are in commercials,
Mm-hmm.
so they're not just movies.
Yeah.
They're in these little
Writers too.
tiny things. Writers
Commercials.
too, commercials, and it's hard to get a commercial. You're working your butt off to get a commercial. So they did like, we're gonna wait till they lose their homes. And
Yeah,
their
there was that
houses.
statement when I
Yeah,
heard it. I was
just
like, what the heck? They're going to stretch it
yeah, stretch
until
out the
they
strikes,
lose their
and
mortgage
then
or
they're
whatever.
gonna be desperate, and then we'll
and
break
lose their
them.
home.
Yeah. However, now, to be fair, from a business standpoint, that's correct. That's what would
Mhm.
happen.
Mm-hmm.
Because if you don't, if you're about to lose your house, you're not going to start. You're going to get back to work.
Yeah, but that's horrible.
But that's from an outsider looking in, it's inhumane.
Right.
That's the second point of view. The point of view from a lot of people who aren't in Hollywood at all
Mm-hmm.
is like, who cares? Like, you shouldn't have been an actor. You shouldn't have been a writer. That's a dumb career. That's a puffy.
Yeah, but if nobody was that, then you wouldn't have movies to watch.
But and here's what I've heard too, because a lot of people will be like, let's say you didn't like the big one, like the Star Wars sequels.
Mm-hmm.
People are like, well, that's bad writing. Why should you get paid for that? I've heard that a lot. Like, I've seen, there's so many.
But then you also said, back in our days when we were kids, we'd had to wait years and years for a movie,
Yeah.
right? So, would you rather not have anything?
That's I think the correct answer, the rebuttal to that is, you should be, and if you are creating value, you should get some of that value. So if the Star Wars sequels, well, you didn't like them, but each one of them still grossed over $1 billion.
Yeah.
That's what we're talking about.
Right.
We're not talking about the quality of a product.
Right.
If you make a horrible keyboard for a computer, but you designed it, we're talking about the designer and it's your IP, right? And you sold it, and you should get something for that.
If you go out and eat at a restaurant and your meal was horrible, you still have to pay for it. It's not like you don't have to pay for it if you didn't like it.
Yeah.
So that's the same logic as like, okay, well, you watched the movie, so they get paid.
Yeah.
You're not going to ask for a refund for your ticket.
Now, there's a lot of, and then you could go back and forth. And I think the problem with a lot of people are, and I try to say this, it's political, but it's not, because I'm not taking a political stance. But I do believe in this country, and probably worldwide, but really a lot in America, we're politically lazy. And why is that a problem? Because, there's a lot of people, even our friends and family members are like, I don't know anything about politics. I don't care. Or I don't, But then when something happens they care about, all of a sudden they have this huge opinion and they can't defend it.
Yeah.
That's what I don't like. Because if somebody's physically lazy, we universally condemn them for, it's like, and when I'm talking about like somebody like an able-bodied guy who's 30 years old, who's living in his mom's basement, doesn't work, doesn't do anything, just plays video games all day. We're like, But if somebody's like intellectually or politically lazy, we're just kind of like, oh yeah, I'm kind of like that too. I don't get involved in that. It's like, to me, it's like, and I think a lot of people think that politics, and the reason I was speaking on politics is because labor versus business is super political. And I think in almost any issue you have that you complain about, it's like if you have a problem with the homeless, that's political. If you have a problem with immigration, that's political, regardless of which side of the debate you're on.
Yeah.
And I think what people do is when they get politically lazy is that they just want a rule of thumb to go by.
Yeah, like tell us what to do.
Yeah. I'm going to join this team, and then I'm just going to vote for whatever that team wants.
Yeah.
And then I don't know, I can't defend any of these issues. I can't really talk in depth about any of these issues, but that's what my team wants. Even if it's not, you don't even know if it's not in your best interest.
Yeah.
You just defend it, and that's how blue or red, And the reason that I think that's a problem is because, again, it erodes your empathy, which, if the super elites of the world love. They want you fighting. They want working class people fighting working class people, middle class people fighting middle class people. That's why I'm independent. I want to evaluate every issue on its merit and how I think about it. I'm not saying I'll come to the right answer. I could be wrong, but at least I thought about it before I made a vote. And a lot of people are like, the same people who are like, again, empathy from both people, right? Like, let's look at like student loans, and again, this is going back. I'm rambling, but it's like the people who like, well, why should you get any forgiveness for a student loan? You signed a contract, I understand that. Like that does make sense, right? And then you could push back and say, well,
I signed it when I was 18.
Signed it when I was 18, and also for any loan you get in the United States, you could declare bankruptcy for. You can't declare bankruptcy for a student loan. So regardless of how my life turns out, if my mom gets sick, if I drop out of college because I have to take care of my sick dad with cancer, I'm stuck with that debt. In 7 years, I can't get rid of it. If you get a business loan and you suck at business, you're out of there. Your credit's good in 8 years.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then a lot of people like who are against that, they're like, well, I don't have any empathy for that because I didn't really look into all those issues. Matter of fact, a lot of conservatives, if they would actually look into that issue, they would realize that one of the reasons, because of rebuttal to that, one of the reasons that student loans are not subject to bankruptcy is because of Joe Biden. When he was a senator, he helped make that deal.
Maybe he's having guilt.
No, but I'm saying is that's what happens when you're politically lazy.
Yes.
Because that's the rebuttal.
Right.
The rebuttal is the guy.
They ask your
the guy
person.
Why don't you ask your own guy why it's not?
Yeah.
You can't get bankruptcy for that. He made a lot of deals with credit card companies that they got away with. So a lot of people. So and vice versa. You could look at it from a conservative angle. Like a lot of people, conservatives are more small business friendly.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people who got their student loans and got their college degrees, who work at corporate jobs, office jobs, who can basically do 90% of their work from a laptop.
Mm-hmm.
When the pandemic hit, they got to work from home. They actually got what they would consider more freedom, right? They still got the same paycheck.
Mm-hmm.
They just got to work in their pajamas.
Mm-hmm.
And then, like a lot of small business
businesses
owners
had to shut down.
Had to shut down. Some of them went out of business.
Yeah, because they had to close.
And then a lot of the people who got to work from home, a lot of the college student loan people,
mm-hmm.
they were getting on their high horse,
small business people.
like they were just like, it's a pandemic. Don't you care about the lives of your fellow citizens?
You need to shut down.
You need to shut down. Stop complaining. Stop doing this. Even though their whole family, their life savings could be in that business. That business could have been in their family for generations, and now it's gone away. Like they don't know how they're gonna feed their kids because they were feeding their kids. Because most businesses, like in the Hollywood, most business owners aren't rich either.
Mm-hmm.
If you own a nail salon, unless you own a chain, you're not rich.
Mm-hmm.
If you own a restaurant, most restaurant owners are not rich.
Mm-hmm.
And they're living on the very thin margins. A lot of people think that if you're a Hollywood actor, you're rich. A lot of people think if you own a business, you're rich. Most of either one are not rich.
Mm-hmm.
And those people who went to college didn't have any sympathy for them or empathy for them. So, and that's my point. It's like when you're intellectually lazy, that's what happens. Democrats want to shut the place down. Hey, that's what my team wants. I guess
I'll do that.
That's the right answer. We're going to shut it down.
Wouldn't you want? You should.
My party's against student loans. Well, I guess
I'm against student loans too. Yeah.
I'm against forgiving student loan too. I'm not saying that that we shouldn't have shut down. I'm not saying that we should absolutely forgive everyone's student loans. I'm saying that there's a lot of gray in between those areas that nobody even bothers to look at because they're just team red or blue.
Yes.
And that's being intellectually lazy. And you lack empathy for your fellow citizens. We are all citizens. We are all an American family. And I have empathy for both people. If you can't get a home because you own student loans, and you can't get out of them and stuff, I have empathy for you. If you had to shut down your business during the pandemic, and both of them are government, right? The government says you can't declare bankruptcy for student loans. The government says you had to shut down your business.
Yeah.
I'm against both.
Yeah, the government should help both, right?
Well, it's not, but the
change.
government is based on what the people want, and if the people are fighting each other, neither one's going to get done,
right.
and you have basically two sets of people who lost.
Yes,
and that's where
we are now.
Yeah. Right? And so when it comes to Hollywood and when it comes to the strikers, I have empathy for them because I would like to think everybody should have empathy for their career. Regardless of what career you're in.
And should have a living wage and health care.
I don't like terms like living wage because that's not quantifiable. But I think
health care.
Maybe.
That's like
they should
They don't. Most of them don't.
I don't think their concerns should be dismissed outright. I think it should be looked into, and I think the more people who look into it, and if the producers and studio heads felt pressure from the public, they would be more likely to look into it. Nobody's going to get 100% of what they want.
No.
But everybody should get something. You know what I mean?
Now, do you think, okay, to me, living wage means you can afford to live. You don't lose your house. But is Hollywood or writers and actors big enough where they end up losing their houses and they all move out of state? Does the governor of California now get involved? Like, hey, we're losing a lot of people here. Like,
no.
Studios have to just like the minimum wage thing.
No, first of all, they're not a big enough population to worry about. And studio heads don't think, and this is true with like a lot of, just almost every industry. The people at the top don't think the people at the bottom are talented. They think they're lucky to be working for them. So like, they're like, if you were Steven Spielberg, of course, would pay you more. Most of you aren't.
Okay, so then how do they get work? They get AI to do it, okay?
But I'm saying I could replace you with somebody from McDonald's. There's somebody at McDonald's right now who could probably write me a script as good as you. That's what they're thinking. You see what I mean?
If they don't?
No, but it doesn't matter. That's not what they're thinking. They're thinking most scripts are crap. Anybody can write a script. Why should I give you a percentage of my profit? Or if you're a Netflix or a streaming service who's not really even profitable yet, why should we give you more of a piece of the pie when anybody can do your job? And there's millions of more people that want to do your job than are actually in your job. That's what they're thinking. Now, is that true? No. I think everybody who's trained and has done something is going to be more talented than someone you can get off the street.
The quality's
But I'm saying there's always a disconnect between a CEO and their lowest level employee.
But wouldn't the product speak to it? If they keep saying that, there's going to be the quality's. They're going to lose quality.
They don't believe in that there is quality because they're willing to pay somebody like Will Smith, Tom Cruise, or somebody. They think an IP. So, like Caviezel, not Caviezel.
Henry, Superman.
Yeah.
Henry Cavill.
Cavill. Like he's leaving The Witcher. That they don't like that because he's a big name, but then they're still kind of okay because it's like, well, The Witcher's a big brand. We're going to be able to
recast.
It's kind of what happened with the sequels. It's like, well, we have Star Wars. Star Wars actually, the sequels actually prove the point of an executive from a certain point of view.
Okay, but they
So
they
what
still made a lot of money.
That's what they're saying. They're saying that we're going to put our money into purchasing IP. That's why you don't see a lot of original movies anymore.
Oh, I see.
We're going to put our money into big names and IP
and hire mediocre actors and writers.
Right. We made Hemsworth a star. Nobody knew who Hemsworth was before he was Thor. That's what they're thinking. Does he have talent? Yeah, but we could get in their minds. We could get him. There's a million jacked Australian guys out there. We could get anybody.
Right.
Why do we need
as long as we have the Marvel name?
Yeah.
We can get Joe Smith or whatever to do it.
Yeah.
And it'll work.
Yeah. And we could have AI help write it, and then someday we'll have AI write 100% of it. And so
we'll
that's what
just make
thinking.
all animated films, and we don't need actors anymore.
Right. Yeah. And so I think that's the way I'm not saying all of them think like that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying that's the way a lot of.
That's their business plan.
It's not their business plan. It's kind of like, why should we give you more?
Right.
When, because you have to understand when there's a renegotiation, basically almost any business is okay with giving you the same. I don't think they were trying to give them less. There's certain places where they will try to give you less, but I think that most businesses will okay with the same and maybe a little more, right? And then a few guarantees, but it's like some of the guarantees the actors are like, AI won't replace this. We still want a writer's room. We want a certain percentage of residuals for X or this or this. And they're just thinking, and the CEOs are like, no, we can wait you out. We're going to wait till you lose your home. And then you're going to come crawling back, and then we're going to win. And then Ron Perlman, man, his comment was like the most gangster thing I've ever seen an actor say outside of a role.
Like, he's familiar, but I can't remember a movie he's in.
Oh, he's Sons of Anarchy, dude. He's in.
Oh, yeah, Sons of Anarchy, but I never watched that.
He's in everything. He's Hellboy. He's in so many different things. I mean, he's Pacific Rim. He's in thousands of things. But he was basically like, I don't know. You guys should Google it. I would play it, but it has profanity in it, and we have like a no profanity podcast. But he was just like, MFer. There's a lot of ways somebody could lose a house. I'm paraphrasing, but it's basically what he said. He says there's a lot of ways they could lose it to karma, they could use it to this, they could lose it to bad decisions, and we know where you live. So be careful. Don't wish that on people. You know what I mean? It was like the most gangster thing I think an actor has ever said outside of playing like a gangster.
Yeah.
I'm almost like, dang.
I can see how he'd get mad after hearing that.
And he's one of the successful actors. He's not even the one who needs money.
Right.
They're
supporting each other.
He's supporting the industry, supporting SAG. So yeah, he's kind of like Juan Carlo. Like he's always going to have roles, But a lot of people think that Iger said it. Doesn't sound like something Iger said, but who knows? I don't know. Yeah, but it was cold, man. And again, I think of a lot of actors as extended cast members. So yeah, I have empathy for them. But like I have empathy for. I think you should have empathy for everyone on Earth. That doesn't mean that I'm necessarily going to agree with everything you want, because empathy isn't good or evil. It's just understanding, and it's not saying that there's no excuses. I can have empathy for again. I said I can have empathy for an axe murderer because I want to understand what got you to that point. Doesn't mean that you shouldn't get the chair, but it's just, hey, maybe we can prevent the next one, right? So empathy is important for anything, and I think that this is important because what's going on in Hollywood applies to every industry.
Yeah.
So if you have a job, pay attention, because it could be your job next, and AI is coming for everybody. Less likely for me only because of my age. It's not because
you could just retire.
I could be like, I think by the time AI takes over everything, I'm on my way out. So, but your kids need jobs, and there's people who need jobs. So, pay attention to this, because even if you don't really care about Hollywood, the things going on in this labor dispute is going to be mirrored throughout the country, especially because they're predicting a big economic crash starting in October, for a lot of reasons, and I'm not going to get too much into the economics of it, but right now we have 20,000 car repos a month.
Whoa.
That's more than there was in 2008. And car repossessions are one of the biggest indicators of an economic crash, because what's the first thing to go when you can't pay your bills? Your car. Because it takes a long time to foreclose on a home.
Yeah.
It takes months, sometimes years.
Mm-hmm.
It takes people are always going to, pay for like food and this stuff. Your car is usually the first big thing to go. So of all your big items that you consider necessary, the car is the first one to go. And nobody wants to lose their car because they need transportation.
That to go to work.
Yeah. So
especially if you're in California.
Yeah. But pretty much anywhere, and that's one thing. The second thing is they're going to raise interest rates again this month, so things are going to get more expensive. And then the third thing, student loans are going to start back in October.
Yep, student loans are starting back.
So you're talking about millions and millions, tens, maybe hundreds.
And with the rise of AI, there's a lot of
hundreds
layoffs.
Of millions, but so you're looking at this trifecta of doom almost that's coming in October. And there's writers and actors now, but it could be your job next. And I'm not hoping that. I'm not wishing that. Being in HR, I don't want to see anyone lose their job. No, because I'm the one that has to be in there and tell people, and I don't like it. I've seen the misery and pain and fear that it causes. So maybe that's why I'm more empathetic about these things than other people, because there's people like me who often have to deliver that news to people, and it is the absolutely worst part of my job. It's worse than firing. Laying someone else is worse than firing somebody because you didn't do anything wrong.
They didn't do anything wrong.
So I don't wish it on anyone, but I think these type of things are good to pay attention to, because there could be more layoffs and stuff in the future, and you might want to know how to navigate that and why these economic things affect you. But enough of that.
Enough of this depressing, gloomy news.
Yeah.
Let's talk about something happy.
Right. Are we going to talk about food? Is
Yes.
it time for food?
Yes.
Okay.
Happy.
It's Taste Talk with Tracy. Mash some magic in your mouth.
Not all food is happy.
Yes. This food is happy. It's the caramel popcorn ice cream sundae.
That was crazy.
You see, if I posted a picture and a video of it, and we got it at Carthay Circle Lounge, and I wanted to try it because caramel popcorn ice cream, it tasted like caramel popcorn ice cream.
Yeah.
And it had chocolate sauce and vanilla chantilly on it.
I don't even know what chantilly is.
I don't know either.
I just know that old song. Chantilly lace and a pretty
know
face.
chinchilla.
I hope
The
it didn't have
coat?
chinchilla on it. That wouldn't be good.
But,
Chinchillas are cute.
But yes, it was delicious. I ate the whole thing by myself. Brian only took a bite just to taste it, but the whole thing by myself.
Yeah.
Usually I share desserts with Christina, but she wasn't there.
Mm. Yeah, she's probably going to demand the next time we're there together. It was really good. It was really good. Even the 1 or 2 bites I took. But it was just like, I can't, like after eating, I can't have something that, like ice cream is like too rich for me. But I could have eaten the whole thing and I'd have been sick.
Ice cream's something I could always eat.
Yeah, you got that ice cream tolerance.
Not cake. I can't eat cake if I'm full or cupcakes or anything. But ice cream, yes.
But if you can get a reservation there, I think that's the only place they have it at
Yes.
Disneyland.
Only Carthay Circle.
And I don't know if they have it at Disney World. I'm sure some place has it. Probably somewhere at Epcot.
Epcot probably has a lot of cool Sundays.
But that's a Sunday that's better than most Sundays.
Yes.
So get it. To me, I'm not a huge ice cream eater, but even I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10.
Wow. I'm going to say 8.5 because all that whipped
Because you want to be
cream.
difficult. No,
No, because all that whipped cream and all that other crap on it kind of like was hard for me to get to the ice cream. You know, like just
you don't like digging for your food.
Just give me a little bit of whipped cream or put it in a bowl. They had it in that fancy cup, and I know they're trying to be fancy because it's Carthay Circle.
And they have to put the little chocolate thing at the top.
Yeah,
They had to do that. But I think it's the presentation was good.
There was like a few pieces
That's
of
what makes it a 9.
popcorn on top. Yeah.
And it tastes like popcorn.
Yeah.
When
And they had that little chocolate that had the C.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, that chocolate.
Yeah.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So, yep. All right.
A dad drove 17 hours from New Jersey to Disney World when his family's flight got canceled. So they're like, "Dad, take us to Disney World." And he did, and he dropped them off, and he drove right back to New Jersey to go to work.
Yeah.
Like a turnaround trip for him. He wasn't going to Disney World. He just was their ride.
Yeah.
Wow,
was
that's
like,
some
that is a-
dedicated dad.
I'm like,
I think Johnny's going to do that.
he'd
Johnny would do that.
find a way to stay though.
Oh, that's true. You wouldn't drive all the way back to go to
No.
work.
Like, I'm jumping the fence. I don't care if I have a reservation. I think that I'm only reporting the story because I'm not a dad, and it doesn't make me look bad. Because this is like a super dad moment. You know?
That is a super
Because
dad.
basically, yes, he and I was in New Jersey last summer, and it's Disney World. That's far, and it's like.
Well, also, you flew into Philadelphia Airport, so which was probably better. Maybe if they had tried to fly from, like, change a flight from Philadelphia to Disney World, maybe they may.
But it was canceled when they were at the airport.
Yeah.
So it's not like they're assuming that it's going to get canceled, so we're going to change airports. It's like, yeah, and I don't know why it was canceled, but it was just canceled. And maybe they had, like, you know, I don't know what kind of tickets they had, but who knows? But it was canceled. And then the mom had to give the mom speech, like, well, man, we'll go to Disney some other time. And da-da-da. And the dad was like,
Yeah.
no.
Probably because they also booked the
This is like-
hotel
it's
and
like
everything, and
the
they don't want to change it around.
Faceless man, like, what do we tell death? Not today. This guy is a superhero dad. And he didn't, and the only reason he wasn't going with the family anyway is because he needed to work.
Mm-hmm.
So what he did was he got in the car, picked them up, didn't tell them that they were going to Disney. They thought they were going back home.
Mm-hmm.
He just started driving south. And he just drove. He's like, no. You know, because they already had their luggage and everything with
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
And he just drove all the way to Disney World.
Oh man, I hope he made it back okay. Like,
Nah, he made it okay. And
sheesh.
but then he had to drop them off because he didn't want to miss 2 days of work.
Right.
And so he drove all the way back just right then. Man,
That's what I'm saying. I
that's
hope
a
he made
super
it. Like,
dad.
that's like no
Yeah.
sleep for
Oh no, this happened a
17
while ago.
hours or
Yeah, he
whatever.
was fine because he's a super dad. He probably flew back.
Left
Yeah.
his car there in Orlando. He's like, okay, give me a flight back.
No, I'm saying he flew because he's a Superman.
Oh, flew.
But then again, he could have just flown the family down there, I guess. But I don't know. He carried him in the truck on his back.
Oh, that's funny.
Oh, man. All right. What's next?
Oh, yeah. Disneyland is temporarily replacing the Fantasmic show with a floating jazz band.
Jazz band.
That's cool. That's more like, don't they do that at Disney World? I don't know.
I don't think so.
That'd be cool, though.
But I mean,
It's
you
kind of
mean
like
just
the
out on the
Tiana
water?
thing.
Or?
Yeah, like a band on the water.
Hmm.
It kind of goes with the Tiana theme, Princess and the Frog.
I guess but are they still going to have characters, though?
No, like a band playing on the water. I don't know.
Like where
But-
the dragon was? Like
No, like on the boat,
Oh.
floating.
Oh, that's
You know,
true.
like how in Princess and the Frog, they play on the boat and they're just floating. Yeah, like that.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's not fantastic. I mean, it's a band. I'm not saying it's bad. I'm just like if they're on the riverboat and it's like 30 people in the band.
Yeah. The band's called Jambalaya Jazz. New Orleans-style jazz band will begin performing on a floating raft on Rivers of America at Disneyland this Friday as a temporary replacement. This Friday. Maybe we'll see it on Sunday. So it is sticking with the whole Tiana theme.
Yeah. It's pretty cool. I just came in, Bob Iger meeting with Disney leaders and Disney employees about their anxiety about him selling the company.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Just now the news came?
Yeah. Well, I just got it over the wire.
Oh.
Because he did make comments about like how ABC wasn't core and he's open to selling certain assets. And I was just, the way I took it is like, hey, he might sell ABC, he might sell Hulu, he might sell ESPN, FX. But I didn't think he was going to, I didn't think those comments meant about the whole company.
Oh, yeah. I think people misunderstand it to mean the entire company.
But who knows? I mean, yeah. I mean, it's great to say that you love the jewel. It's important. It's great to say that jewels are fun. but he has revealed the truth. He wants to get the highest price he can for the jewel.
So he is
because he can't
considering
afford it
selling.
anymore. Well, that's not what him saying. That's somebody
Oh,
else.
oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's weird. I don't know. So, no, I was trying to see what else. I'm trying to get more details on this because did he make some other comment? I don't know. I don't know. But
Anyways, so are we going to talk about indie or next episode?
probably the next episode.
Okay.
And I already posted a spoiler giveaway, so we'll give people like a week to like marinate if they want that.
Yeah.
And it's also the
A lot of
movie's still
people
out.
have already said they wanted it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, so yeah, it's an Indiana Jones print, and it's framed. It already comes in a little frame,
Mm-hmm.
so you don't got to do anything. You don't got to go to like Michael's and get the thing like we do. I don't think we ever showed people our Black Panther print that we got framed. We showed it when we
the
first
print,
got it.
but not after it got framed.
Yeah,
I was waiting for you to put it up somewhere, but we don't have any room.
yeah, I might put it under the Mickey clock, but we'll see if it's because the frame is heavy.
Yeah.
So I got to make sure that it's hung right. But yeah, we're gonna do that in next week. And what else are we gonna do? We're gonna have our Comic-Con wrap up and
Disney Day.
Disney Day wrap up.
Disney Hot Day. Extremely hot.
I'm not looking forward to that at all. I am not looking forward to that at all.
We can't
And
even see Rogers. We're going on a Sunday.
I know. I guess we could have made Monday reservations and just went in the morning to see if
Can't
we could get it.
see
Oh, no,
Sundays and Mondays.
Yeah, Sundays and Mondays.
Lame.
And is it going to be playing? Because I know there's some days they said it's not. Even they're not Sundays. And
Oh, that
Mondays.
was over. That was for the Haunted Mansion thing. I think that was what it's for. But
didn't
July
Hannah say that?
yeah, I don't know why Hannah said that she might not be able to see it because she said she can't see past the calendar.
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't mean. I don't know. I'll have to ask her.
Well, and just remember everyone to leave us a review, leave us maximum stars, whatever medium you listen to us on
Apple.
and also leave good reviews for any podcast you listen to.
Yes.
It really helps us out, and I'm sure all podcasters appreciate it. We definitely do. We appreciate you guys. Definitely when you're listening to my long and rambling rants about things. Yeah, and that's why we really like rewarding you guys with stuff. You're the best fans in the world. And yeah, we love you guys. So we will be back next week.
Yes.
I'm Brian.
I'm Tracy.
Stay magical.
Bye.
Thank you for listening. Be sure to like and subscribe and visit us at www.ropedroppingknowledge.com.